Harry Reid, one of the dumbest, most vile men, well, period. Over at the Washington Free Beacon, the Senate's top Democrat was more deeply involved than previously known in an effort to secure U.S. visas for Chinese investors in a Las Vegas casino, despite the concerns of career federal officials, according to an Inspector General report that was recently released. Senate Minority Leader now, Harry Reid, and his staff receive weekly updates from top officials at the U.S. Customs and Immigration Services, ICE, regarding the status of visas for investors in the SLS Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. Executives at the casino's parent company, you know how crooked all these bastards are. Feinstein and her husband, this guy. It's just, these politicians should be very, very thankful that we're peaceful people. But I still think we ought to take crime tape and just wrap it around the Capitol building. And while we're at it, wrap it around the White House. Let me continue. Executives at the casino's parent company, a client of Reid's son Rory, oh, here we go, donated thousands of dollars to Reid's campaign after he helped speed consideration of its applications for visas for its Chinese investors. That expedited consideration came despite warnings from career U.S. CIS officials that applicants had forged paperwork, tried to conceal the sources of their investment, and in one case had ties to a child pornography business. Oh, yeah, you buy this thing, Harry Reid, exercise accident. You see his cheek is bruised. He broke his eye socket. His ribs are bruised. This is a piece of, what? Somebody dropped the exercise equipment on him? The visas came by way of USCIS's EB-5 program, EB-5, which provides U.S. visas to foreign investors in American businesses. Private financing for SLS, that's this group, required that it receive approval for a number of those visas by early 2013. So with the deadline fast approaching, internal USCIS emails show Reid began pressing the agency to speed their approval. So the son represents the company. These guys make a big contribution to his campaign, and he's pressing the government to issue those visas before the deadline. We used to call this a quid pro quo. We used to call this crooked. Even a crime. Reid has acknowledged going to bat for SLS foreign workers. Well, of course he has, investors, because they have the evidence. In a statement to ABC News last month, he said his office advocated for the project to receive immediate attention and nothing more. But new details in the Inspector General's report reveal that his involvement was deeper and more prolonged. What, Harry Reid is a slimeball and a serial liar? No way, do tell. Reid requested and received these regular updates from then USCIS Director Alejandro Mayorkas on the status of SLS's EB-5 applications, agency employees told the IG. The IG report criticizes Mayorkas for creating an appearance of favoritism. What do you mean an appearance of favoritism? It is favoritism. In 3 matters pending before the USCIS, however, Mr. Mayorkas communicated with stakeholders on substantive issues outside the normal adjudicatory process, they wrote, and intervened with the career USCIS staff in ways that benefited the stakeholders. Oh, that's an appearance of a problem, isn't it? Not the reality of one. In each of these 3 instances, but for Mr. Mayorkas' intervention, the matter would have been decided differently. In other words, turned down. The report noted Reid had pushed Mayorkas to expedite the CLS visa processing. It also revealed additional details about the senator's involvement in bureaucratic wrangling over the applications. In other words, Reid and his office were pushing like hell to give these special visas to these Chinese investors who were investing in a Las Vegas casino, despite concerns by career officials, despite shady relationships, despite providing false information about their revenues, and potentially involvement, at least one of them, with child pornography. And executives of this company are clients of Reid's son, Rory. Donated thousands of dollars to Reid's campaign. Man, it's an appearance of impropriety. No, it's not. Take his fingerprints right now. Get his mug shot. That's one hell of a mug, by the way. Harry. Reid's office says he was concerned only with the project's positive economic impact. I guess that's the sort of the regular defense. I just cared about the people in Nevada, wanted them to have jobs. You know, I'm a people's senator. But what about Rory? Who's Rory? He's your son. Oh, him. What about him? Senator Reid's work helped get SLS built and created thousands of Nevada jobs. This is the office. SLS Las Vegas has revitalized the north end of Las Vegas Strip And with the coming addition of Genting Resort, the area will continue to grow, said Christy Northman, a spokesidiot for Reid, in an email statement. So what's with the donations to his campaign? You see, if we had real prosecutors in a real Justice Department, U.S. Attorney's Office today, they would say, you just indicted your boss. You just said Reid helped SLS to create jobs. That's one half of the quid. Now the pro quo part comes in, the hiring of his son, and the making contributions to his campaign. The spokesidiot told John Ralston, a political reporter based in Nevada, that Reid's son's work for SLS did not affect the company's EB-5 applications. Of course not. We have a long-standing office policy that strictly bars any member of the staff's family or the senator's family from lobbying our office on behalf of their clients. So, in other words, Reid's son never called Daddy, never spoke to Daddy, never winked at Daddy, Daddy never winked back, and we're supposed to believe this crap. That's number one. Number two, look, Reid went to extensive lengths to get these clowns their visas. The time was running out. He was beating up on the bureaucracy. The IG just said that the bureaucrat in charge buckled to Reid's pushing. We now know that the lobbyist who was hired to help this group was Reid's son. We also know that his clients contributed campaign money to the Reid campaign. Case closed. Guilty. Send him to prison. Sam Nazarian, SBE's chief executive, brought on Reid in 2012 to help navigate through that's Rory Reid, navigate through the maze of regulations required to access economic incentives offered on the state and local levels. After USCIS expedited the SLS EB-5 applications, I hope you're following this, Nazarian donated $10,200 to Reid's leadership PAC. Two other SBE employees each donated $1,000. The president of SLS chipped in another $1,000. All those donations came in a period of 3 days. But they weren't coordinated. Don't worry. Neither SLS nor SBE returned requests for comment. And the donations came from company executives after Reid's reported doggedness in pushing Mayorkas to expedite the project's EB-5 applications. According to the IG report, the two discussed SLS's applications and on and on and on. Why isn't this guy charged with a crime, this putrid member of Congress, this senator, Harry Reid? Why isn't he charged with a crime? Why isn't he charged with selling his office for donations? Have you ever seen a cleaner case than this? No, except for the guy that had $90,000 in his freezer. That was a genius. But Harry Reid's just one notch stupid under that guy. Harry Reid is worth well over $10 million. His main home is a condominium at the top level of the Ritz-Carlton in Washington, D.C. This man has spent his entire life in politics, and he becomes filthy rich by spending his entire life in politics. How does this happen? Not like Obama, who had somebody write him 2 phony autobiographies from which he pocketed millions and millions of dollars. It's not that he gives speeches. The guy can barely complete sentences without spittle dripping off his lip and onto his loafers. Where'd all this money come from? Must be his genius as a lawyer. Those genius cases he was involved in, like what? Like nobody knows. This guy's filthy. It's one man's opinion, my personal opinion. I guess he could sue me, but then I guess I could do discovery till the cows come home. Might be worth it.